first baseman, will hit fourth. Brady College, the shortstop, will hit in the 5 spot. Caden Long, 6th in left field. Nathan Upham, the third baseman, hits 7th. Isaac Garside, the right fielder, hits 8th. And then Kai Roberts, the catcher, will bat 9th. Defensively for the Spanish Fork Dons in the outfield, Jackson Higginson in left. In center, it will be Brady Brook. And in right field, it will be Brendan Bradford. Tay Newman at third, Tanner Argyle at short, Andrew Pintar at second. Over at first base will be Briggs Newman. Behind the plate, it will be Josh Cowden. And we are just about set and ready to go for baseball. Cy Nielsen on the mound will wind and deliver the first pitch, which will be low, ball 1. And we're underway at about 4:33. And it's a 1-ball, no strike count on Jackson Kohler, the center fielder. 74 degrees at first pitch here in Orem. And we are just about set and ready to go. The 1-0 pitch on its way to Kohler, who will foul this one away down the line. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike the count here on Jackson Kohler. So it will be Kohler, Peck, Driggs, Shepard, College, Long, Upham, Garside, and Kai Roberts. Ready to go. The pitch inside, and it hits on the inside part of the elbow of Jackson Kohler, and Kohler reaches to start the ball game, and the Skyridge Falcons have their first man on base here in the top of the first inning. Spanish Fork wearing the home white tops and white pants with the SF over the chest. And right now the Skyridge Falcons in the gray pants and the orange tops, as looks like a baseball was down the left field line. So settle in here, whether you're on KSL.com or DeseretNews.com, and also if you're here on Spanish Fork 17 in the city of Spanish Fork. We welcome everybody in. The bunt shown, pulls it back as Jackson Peck takes ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on the Skyridge second baseman. A couple of fun ones coming. Maple Mountain against Timpanogos to follow this one here. So Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain, crosstown rivals, have a shot still to meet. Ready to go. Here's the 1-0 pitch on its way, right on the outside corner, but missed for a ball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes the count here on Jackson Peck. Ready to go here as Josh Cowden behind the plate, directing traffic for his left-hander, Cy Nielsen. Ready to go, takes a look over at first. Nielsen taking a long look over at Kohler, and that one missing low and away for a ball. And it's 3-0, the count here on Jackson Peck. 3 balls, no strikes, nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Skyridge and Spanish Fork, winners bracket. Neither of these teams have lost a game so far. That one inside and tight, ball 4. And now runners on at first and second here with nobody out. The difficult part that it kind of comes into, something to keep in mind as we go throughout, Cy Nielsen, and we'll have an early visit out to the mound. Cy Nielsen may be feeling maybe a little bit of stress and a little bit of nerves here in the first as he gets ready to come out to take the hill for the first time right here. Let's take a look at the run that the Skyridge Falcons have had through the state playoffs. Skyridge started on the road against Olympus, against the Titans, and they actually won 3-2 against the Titans before defeating Salem Hills in a 9-8 ball game. It had really there for a while looked like Salem Hills might actually end up being the team that the Spanish Fork Dons would see today, but nonetheless, it ended up changing things a little bit. So runners on at first and second. Clayton Driggs, the designated hitter, will stand in. Runners on at first and second. Nobody out. Nielsen will look the runner back to second. Right here, the winner moves on in the top part of the bracket. And they do not have to play tomorrow. They get an off day. They wouldn't have to play till Wednesday. Here's the pitch on its way. That one, a fastball that misses high and away. Ball 1, 1-0 on Driggs. So early on, it's Cy Nielsen who's having a hard time hitting the strike zone for Spanish Fork. Trying to work through this Skyridge lineup here in the top of the first inning. From the stretch, the 1-0 pitch is right on the corner again, but this one misses for ball 2. And it's quickly 2-0 the count here on Clayton Driggs. Traffic starting to pick up coming down University Parkway as we approach here 4:30, almost 20 to 5. The stands filling up quite nicely. The 2-0 pitch misses ball 3, and the count moves to 3-0 here on Clayton Driggs. Cy Nielsen in some pretty serious threat here of loading the bases with nobody out for Skyridge. 3 balls and no strikes, nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Nielsen, you have to think, would probably have to come over the plate here to Driggs, and that one misses ball 4, and the bases are loaded of Falcons here in the first. Bases full of Falcons, and Jay Shepard will be the hitter. Runners on, bases are loaded here for Skyridge. Still nobody out in the top of the first. Shepard will stand in and be the hitter for Skyridge. Double play depth up the middle for Tanner Argyle and Andrew Pintar. And the pitch on its way, breaking ball stays high, and it's 1-0 the count here on Shepard. Right now, you don't really want to groove one necessarily if you're Cy Nielsen, but you have to kind of think and kind of wonder, what do I have to do to get a strike? And if that means throwing over the middle of the plate here, you don't want to make a mistake with the bases loaded and nobody out. The 1-0 pitch is going to be fouled back to the screen as Nielsen tried to do that there and just fouled it right back to the screen. And 1 ball and 1 strike, the count here on Jace Shepard. Would imagine as we get closer and closer to 7, the stands are going to continue to fill up. There's a fastball that misses away, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and a strike. With the hometown team Timpanogos to play following Skyridge. It's our 3rd matchup of Region 7 against our 2nd Region 7 versus Region 8 matchup of the day. 2 balls and a strike, the count here on Shepard. Cy Nielsen gets his lead. The 2-1 on its way. That one's pulled foul and back up onto the berm, and it's going to move the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes on Shepard. Cy Nielsen in a big need of a strikeout right here. Two balls, 2 strikes. The kick and the delivery on its way. Low and in the dirt, ball 3. And the bases are full, or the count is full, and the bases are loaded for Jay Shepard. There's nowhere to put Shepard in this position, so now you have to almost come over with a strike. Nielsen kicks and delivers, and that one's going to be lifted into right field. It's shallow enough. Sprinting in and right's Brendan Bradford. Pintar goes out. Pintar will make the catch. Kohler will have to hold at 3rd, and a big first out for Cy Nielsen. So with 1 away, now there's an interesting situation because a couple of things that you can do. Brody College coming to the plate. Couple of things you can do here is if you get a ground ball and you turn a double play, you can almost get out of it without really any big serious damage being done. That one inside and low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. The count here on Brody College. Part of the other problem that you have is if you're Cy Nielsen right now, you have to probably get your emotions straight and in order. The 1-0 pitch on its way is going to be popped up and go foul. It's 1-1. It can be a little nerve-wracking making a start in a big college stadium. Trying to get going. Nielsen only a sophomore right now, trying to work through this here with a 1 ball, 1 strike count, 1 out, top of the first inning. Bases full of Falcons, and the 1-1 pitch. Low and in the dirt, another good stop by Josh Cowden behind the plate. And it's 2-1, the count here on Brody College. Double play depth, corners playing in. The 2-1 pitch on its way. That one's going to be rolled over to third. Tay Newman touches the third base bag for one, throws across the diamond and past the first baseman, Briggs Newman. 1 run will score. That's Kohler. Coming around third is Driggs. He's going to try to score. The throw to the plate is not going to be in time, and Skyridge has taken a 2-0 lead. The throwing error there by Tay Newman. He just threw it almost right into the ground, and Briggs Newman tried to scoop it at first, but just couldn't. And now 2 outs and a runner on at third, and 2 runs are in for Skyridge. The pitch on its way. That one right on the outside corner as Caden Long takes strike 1, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike here with 2 outs in the inning here, and the pitch on its way, swung out and missed, and it's 0-2 on Caden Long. Long ready to go here with the 0-2 pitch, just about ready to come home. Cy Nielsen ready to kick and deliver. And the 0-2 pitch on its way, swung out and missed, strike 3. So Nielsen does give up the 2 runs. However, the defense behind him kind of aid those 2 runs. We've played a half inning from Brent Brown Ballpark. Skyridge 2, Spanish Fork 0. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on Spanish Fork 17, KSL.com, and DeseretNews.com. Well, let's take a look at our sponsors here on Spanish Fork 17. We want to thank the car guys, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, 2 Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We thank them for making these broadcasts and all of our broadcasts throughout our high school sports season possible here on Spanish Fork 17. We welcome everybody in here to the state tournament, a very exciting time. We've seen teams here in Spanish Fork have a lot of success when it comes to the state tournament, as Brady Brook will get ready to stand into the batter's box here for the first time in this afternoon's contest. It will be Brady Brook, the center fielder, to lead it off. Tanner Argyle hits in the 2 spot. Cy Nielsen, the pitcher, will hit third. Briggs Newman, the first baseman, hits cleanup, followed by Brendan Bradford and Josh Cowden. And the first pitch to Brady Brooks, the fastball, and misses for ball 1 from Dax Phillips. Josh Cowden will hit 6th. Tay Newman will hit in the 7th spot. The third baseman, Andrew Pintar, hits 8th at second base, as the pitch is going to be rolled over to first, fielded cleanly by Shepard, who will touch first base, and there's 1 away. 1 gone. Here's Tanner Argyle. And then rounding out the order in left field, number 1, Jackson Higginson. So with 1 away, here comes the shortstop, Tanner Argyle. So Dax Phillips, the left-hander, or sorry, the right-hander, on the mound here for Skyridge. And Tanner Argyle hits this one out to right field. It's cutting pretty deep, and that ball is going to be off the base of the wall. Argyle around first. He's going to come around second, going for third. Here comes the relay throw. It's going to get by and up the left field line and kind of skip away a little bit there from the third baseman Upham. And Tanner Argyle very quickly has gotten the Dons crowd back into it with a leadoff triple here in the first. And now one of those big opportunities right here where Cy Nielsen now has an opportunity to try to help his own cause and maybe try to chip back into this one. Working here, ready to go. It's going to be Dax Phillips. He kicks and delivers this one, and Nielsen swings and misses. It's off the glove, and here comes Tanner Argyle. He will score, and the Dons are on the board. I would imagine that's going to go as a pass ball against Kai Roberts. And with a 0-1 count, Nielsen will stand back in the box. A big run there for the Spanish Fork Dons to try to chip back in this one. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way home. And that one in there for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 on Cy Nielsen. So I think it's a little bit of some nerves going on both sides of the coin here as we settle in here. When these teams get used to it, it's a little bit bigger field, a little bit bigger stadium, and probably a little bit bigger sized crowd than these kids are used to. That one comes inside and tight, and it hit Nielsen, but they're going to say he swung. He swung at it for strike 3. So even though it came in and hit him, Nielsen did not hold up his swing, and that is going to be. And now head coach Casey Nelson's going to pop out of the Dons dugout. I think what the home plate umpire said is that Cy Nielsen swung around and he didn't stop his swing when it came in and hit him. And Casey Nelson's going to get the explanation, and it will be the second out of the inning. So with 2 outs now, we'll bring up Briggs Newman. Newman here will look to try to see if he can get a base hit for Spanish Fork and try to get something going for the Dons. Dax Phillips, the right-hander, ready to go, and his first pitch on its way home is going to be lifted down the right field line. That's going to fall for a base hit in front of Garside, and on with the 2-out singles, Briggs Newman. A big base hit there to extend the inning for Brendan Bradford, as that couldn't come at a better time to try to keep the momentum going here. Bottom of the first inning, Skyridge leading Spanish Fork 2-1 here in the game 3 of 4 here from Brent Brown Ballpark. One more to follow, and that will be Maple Mountain against Timpanogos. The 1-0 pitch, Bradford grounds this one up the middle of short, and taking him himself will be College, and the inning is over. We've played one complete here from Brent Brown Ballpark. Skyridge 2, Spanish Fork 1. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on Spanish Fork 17, KSL.com, and DeseretNews.com.
RPT would like to wish all participants good luck in today's game. RPT has been a pioneer in sports medicine in Utah for over 40 years.
Top of the second inning here from Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, as it will be Nathan Upham, Isaac Garside, and Kai Roberts, 7, 8, 9, coming up for the Skyridge Falcons, who right now lead Spanish Fork by a score of 2-1. As right now it will be Cy Nielsen who will go back to work here and try to shake off everything that happened in that first inning, as Upham will stand in the third baseman to lead it off. For Skyridge, wearing the orange tops and the gray pants. The pitch on its way right there for a called strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. You can tell not a cloud in the sky. Well, a couple of clouds here and there, a couple of high clouds. Nonetheless, it has been a great day for baseball here, as the 0-1 pitch on its way comes inside and low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The field in great shape, as you see it there. For as many games as get played on this field in a year, they keep this field in solid shape. The 1-1 pitch, checked his swing. Did he go? And it's going to be, yes, he did, says our home plate umpire. And it's 1-2 the count here on Nathan Upham. The Skyridge Falcons coming out of Region 7, 10-4, 17-8 overall. The fastball misses high, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. For Skyridge, really in their first year of, I guess, existence, I guess you would call it. They took some negative sides to some losses this year, but really a lot of just 1-run ball games. Breaking pitch misses for a ball, and the count goes full 3-2. They lost a ball game. When you go to look at their region schedule, their region opener was against Timpanogos. At home, Timpanogos put up 20 against Skyridge. They won 20-11, and then Timpanogos won 5-4. That one's going to be foul tipped and evens there, moves the count to 3-2. But then you saw Skyridge start to, they won 4 straight, including sweeping Timpview, sweeping Alta. They played the Spanish Fork team, by the way, back on Friday, April the 14th. And Spanish Fork actually won that matchup 6-0. That one was on the road at Nelson Field in Spanish Fork. Ready to go, the pitch on its way. Swung out and missed, strike 3, and up them down on strikes. The second strikeout of the ball game for Cy Nielsen. And with 2 outs in the inning, he'll bring up Isaac Garside. And snowballs on a strike. Probably just some first inning jitters for Cy Nielsen. The 0-1 pitch on its way, and time called here by the batter before Nielsen was done delivering, and he followed through on the delivery. But Skyridge having really a lot of success. Their probably biggest setback actually came on May 6th. They lost the game to Carbon, a 3A team, 12-1. The 0-1 pitch is going to be swung on and fouled, looks like maybe fouled off the leg of the hitter Garside, and he is down in the batter's box. We saw back in our first game of the day, it was Salem Hills' Kyle Coburn who actually, first batter of the game, was a ground ball, hit up the middle, and he ended up kind of booting it into center field, but then he was on the ground at shortstop for probably about 2 or 3 minutes, making sure had to get kind of attended to by some athletic trainers, making sure he was okay. And now a conversation between the home plate umpire and the Skyridge head coach out there having a couple of conversations here. Right here, head coach Ryan Roberts coming down from the third base coach's box, and now what they'll do, they'll let Garside try to see if he can run it off as Roberts holds the bat in his hand right now. But it should be fun. We got one more game coming up for you next. That one will be here on Spanish Fork 17, also on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. It will be the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles who will try to make another deep tournament run themselves. Not an easy task tonight against the defending 4A state champs Timpanogos. The 0-2 pitch, and it's down on strikes goes Isaac Garside. The third strikeout for Cy Nielsen. And with 2 outs here in the second, here comes Kai Roberts. So it'll be interesting to see as Nielsen settles down. Nielsen's been pitching pretty well for the Spanish Fork team. And so it's just interesting to kind of see how, once he settles in and gets ready to go, as Roberts takes that one the other way, right in front of Jackson Higginson in left field. Roberts will take a deep turnaround first, and a 2-out single from the 9-hole hitter, Kai Roberts, will now move the order back to the top, and Jackson Kohler. So it'll be Jackson Kohler who will stand in here at the plate. With 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. And we'll have a speed-up runner. It will be Mitchell Sampson, a sophomore, who will come in to run over at first base for Roberts. And the first pitch misses there, just a little bit away for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. We saw the speed-up runners in both our first 2 contests really ended up changing the momentum of the ball game. 1 ball and no strikes, the count, working from the stretch. There's a big looping curveball that missed for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Nielsen doesn't quite seem as comfortable from the stretch, where really that's been where he's been for most of the ball game this afternoon. With those early base runners getting on base, it's really kind of just changed the whole outcome of the ball game. The 2-0 pitch about ready to come home. And that one's low, ball 3, and it's 3-0 the count on Jackson Kohler. Kohler was hit by a pitch and came around to score a run back in the first, as Skyridge loaded the bases on the first 3 hitters. The 3-1 pitch, the 3-0 pitch, and the throw over, diving back safely is Sampson. And really, when you take a look at it, for Skyridge to have the bases loaded and nobody out, and Nielsen got out of the jam, only allowing 2 runs, kind of lets you know where Nielsen was with that at bat, as that one's fouled away. As swinging 3-0 is Jackson Kohler, and it's 3-1 on the center fielder. Three balls and a strike. Nielsen comes home, and Kohler swings and fouls that one. It looks like off of his knee. As Skyridge is last couple of hitters have fouled a couple of pitches right off their knee, and it's 3-2 here on Kohler. So Mitchell Sampson now will probably be on the move. He'll probably take off here on the pitch. Right now is Jackson Peck comes out to check on Kohler. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. A 2-1 lead for the Skyridge Falcons. As right now the winner of this one gets tomorrow off. They won't play until Wednesday. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Nielsen throws over. For those teams, they'll be 1 win away from playing for the state championship. They'll have an opportunity to try to see if they can get into that 4A state championship game set for Friday afternoon. 3-2 pitch, and Kohler swings and hits this one well. Bradford going back, he won't get there. It's going to one-hop the wall. Bradford able to cut it off. Coming around third is Sampson. He will score, and it's a 3-1 lead for Skyridge. The ball was hit well and hits at one of the deepest parts of the park. And Kohler hit it well, and he hit it deep. A nice shot there from Jackson Kohler. And now another run in for Skyridge, a 3-1 Falcon lead. Here's Jackson Rose. Rose walked back in the first inning. And here's the pitch on its way home. And Jackson Peck just couldn't hold up on it, and it's 0-1 the count here on Peck. Peck walked and then got stranded on at second base. He was the runner with that fielder's choice. Then when Tay Newman just threw it past Briggs Newman over at first, the 0-1 pitch, and Nielsen will look the runner Kohler back to second base. The Dons have plenty of time to work out of it. If the bats get going for Spanish Fork, they can chip away at this lead. Strike called in there, and it's going to be 0-2 on Jackson Peck. Maple Mountain and Timpanogos to follow, the final game of the day here at Brent Brown Ballpark. That one, we'll see what happens here. If Spanish Fork trying to come from behind, the 0-2 pitch, grounded to second. Andrew Pintar bobbles the baseball. Everybody will be safe. Down to third goes Jackson Kohler. And now runners on the corners for Clayton Driggs. The second Don's error of the night, and the second in 2 innings will now extend the inning, and Clayton Driggs with an opportunity with a ball in the gap really could break this ball game wide open. Cy Nielsen will go to work here from the stretch. Runners on the corners and the pitch on its way. Driggs fouls it back to the screen. No balls and a strike here. Cy Nielsen an out away from getting out of it here again with giving up really minimal damage. But again, a ball in the gap the other way, and he's given up a lot of damage. We'll see how long head coach Casey Nelson stays with Nielsen. The 0-1 pitch about ready to come home. They're going to throw. They got the runner caught between second and third. Here's Tanner Argyle checking the runner there. Now Briggs Newman has to check the runner there. They'll throw across the diamond, and they'll not apply the tag in time. Briggs Newman fired across the diamond. Jackson Peck able to move up to second. And Tay Newman was able to, he tried to get the swipe tag right there on Jackson Peck, but just wasn't able to get the tag on his body. And now with 2 outs in the inning, runners on both at second and third, and Clayton Driggs will be the hitter. From the 0-1 pitch on its way, and that one's in there for a called strike, and it's 0-2 here on Driggs. The left-hander, Cy Nielsen, going back to work. Here's the 0-2 pitch, about ready to come home. The kick and the delivery low inside and tight for a ball, and it's 1-2 the count here on Clayton Driggs. Jackson Peck, the runner on at second base. Jackson Kohler sitting 90 feet from home at third. The 1-2 pitch on its way home is going to be swung on and hit to left field. It's in the ballpark for Jackson Higginson, who will make the catch, and the top of the second inning comes to an end. But Skyridge, adds 1 run on 2 hits. 1 on air and then 2 left on base. At the end of an inning and a half, it's Skyridge 3, Spanish Fork 1. We'll take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to grab some sponsors here. We'll take a look here. We got the Car Guys, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, Dickerson Automotive, 2 Jack's Pizza, and we got Lance Wilson State Farm. We thank them for making our regular season and our postseason broadcast possible here as the final week of high school sports on Spanish Fork 17. And what a year it has been. We've had some very good and some very exciting ball games throughout the year. And we're hoping to kind of cap it off with some more exciting festivities this week. But right now, the Spanish Fork Dons have some work to do here in the bottom of the second inning. Trailing by a score of 3-1. It will be Josh Cowden, Tay Newman, and Andrew Pintar. 6, 7, and 8 coming up here for Spanish Fork. The Dons in the home white uniforms today. The designated home team. We'll see. Looking around the ballpark, I don't see Maple Mountain here yet. I do not see Timpanogos. We'll keep an eye on them for when they arrive here at the ball yard tonight. Here's Josh Cowden, the catcher, and Phillips will kick and deliver the first pitch low and in the dirt for a ball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. One ball and no strikes as Josh Cowden will quickly step out of the box. Now step back in, ready to go. Here's the 1-0 pitch on its way home. Cowden takes that one high and outside. Ball 2. It's 2-0 on Josh Cowden. Really, right now, if you're Spanish Fork, you're looking for some base runners. Looking for guys like maybe Cowden and Tay Newman to get aboard. And the 2-0 pitch on its way. Cowden swings, hits this one well out to deep left center field. Still running back is Kohler. He's not going to get there. It goes to one of the deeper parts of the park. Cowden around second. He's going to go into third. And Josh Cowden will have the brake lights on there with a leadoff triple for Spanish Fork. Just what the Dons needed. And Josh Cowden able to find a way to get on third base with nobody out. Now we'll have someone come in and run. I believe that's number 13, Carson Chappell. And it is. It's the junior Chappell who will come in and run over at third base for Josh Cowden.
Speed up runner for Spanish Fork, number 13, Carson Chappell. Now batting the third base.
So third baseman Tay Newman coming to the plate with an opportunity here if you're Tay Newman where you don't necessarily need a base hit to get the run home, but right now you just need something to try to continue to extend this ball game and try to get that second run in. And Newman will line a hard base hit single to left field. So Newman aboard with a not a 1-out single, but there's able to get a single to extend the inning. Back-to-back hits for Spanish Fork. Chappell comes in to score, and it's a 3-2 ball game. Here's second baseman Andrew Pintar. Both of these teams they're not in an elimination situation tonight. And we'll have a quick visit out to the mound here. This is, I believe, going to be head coach Ryan Roberts heading out to the mound to have a conversation with his starting pitcher. However, the importance, and we've talked about this year in and year out, the importance of making sure that you stay in the top part of that bracket is huge. I mean, it's an opportunity right now. Spanish Fork and even we'll say Maple Mountain as well, because the Golden Eagles in a similar position are 3 wins away from a state championship. Tonight, on Wednesday evening, and then on Friday afternoon, 3 wins away from a state title. And so definitely some opportunities here. If you fall to the bottom part of the bracket, you have to play twice tomorrow. You have to win once on coming up on Friday, or sorry, on Wednesday. So that puts you 3 wins out, and then 2 to win the championship. You got to win 5 games over the next week in order to win the state championship. So it just becomes a lot more difficult in the bottom part of the bracket. Not saying it's not possible, because we saw that some teams have done that, but it starts to become a little bit more difficult. Here's Andrew Pintar, and the first pitch is a bunt right out in front of home plate. Out with it, the throw to first is in time from Roberts to get Pintar, but Andrew Pintar able to move Tay Newman up 90 feet down to second base. So a nice heads-up play there. And now here comes left fielder Jackson Higginson. Higginson brings a lot of speed to this 9-hole spot. And so if Higginson can, especially with a right-hander on the mound, it wouldn't be surprising to see him try to pull a bunt at some point. He's swinging at the first pitch there and pops it up into left field. The left fielder battling the sun and will make the catch at the last minute out there was Caden Long for the second out of the inning. That is going to be a challenge, especially as we get more into the later innings of this one into this evening's game. If you joined us on KSL, on live.ksl.com or deseretnews.com last weekend for the 3A state tournament, you heard me a couple of times during those evening games mention how the sun starts to set over Utah Lake, and it can make that left side of the infield and that left field spot really difficult. Here's Brady Brook with 2 outs. The pitch on its way, and Brady Brook lines a shot to center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Around third and digging for home is Tay Newman, and Spanish Fork has tied it here in the second. So the nice thing, if you're the Dons, it's kind of a new ball game now that you've tied it at 3 here in the second inning, as Tanner Argyle will come to the plate. Argyle had a triple back in his first at-bat and then came around to score on the single from Briggs Newman. Sorry, he did not. He was at the plate and a pass ball got to the backstop. That's how he scored. And the first pitch, a fastball that misses away, ball 1. 1-0. I'm not 100% convinced that that wasn't some sort of a pitch out play right there to make sure, see if Brady Brook was going. And now we're going to have a visit out to the mound here. And this is the second visit, so generally Ryan Roberts would have to make a pitching change. Although I'm wondering, since he's going out there talking to the umpire first, I'm wondering if this is I didn't see anybody warming up down in the pen, and there was actually a couple people warming up down in the pen. And the day for Dax Phillips will come to an end. We'll have a pitching change here. We'll keep it here on Spanish Fork 17. As with Tanner Argyle coming to the plate, we will see the new pitcher for the Skyridge Falcons, who will face Argyle. We're still waiting to see who it is. It looks to be Skyridge. Does not have numbers on the front of their jerseys, as I think it's 13. And it will be number 13. That's going to be Jackson Simper, a sophomore pitcher, will come in. And not really the easiest of spots, but nonetheless, that's kind of what you inherit, especially in the state tournament, where a lot of times coaches want to save some arms. We've talked about the new pitch count rules. If you've been joining us on live.ksl and also on deseretnews.com, you've heard me talk throughout the last about the last 4 days or so of the state tournament. We've talked about the new high school pitch counts. And so the importance of that would be the fact that if you throw more than 35 pitches, you have to have a day off. And really at this point, you don't want to have to burn pitching so far and so deep into your bullpen that you have to wonder who would you throw if you did get into that bottom part of the bracket. At the varsity level, if you throw more than 35 pitches, you're required 1 day's rest. If you go anywhere between 36 and 60, 61 to 85, you're required 2 days rest. And then after 86, you have to have 3 days rest. So ideally, you could throw your top arm tonight if you're Spanish Fork or you're Skyridge, Maple Mountain, or Timpanogos. And as long as you don't have to use that arm or want to use that arm until Friday for a state championship, as the first pitch to Argyle misses low and away for a ball. It's 2-0 here on Tanner Argyle. You could very easily not throw that arm until that day, but it will be interesting to kind of see here how that will affect the pitching for the tournament. The 2-0 pitch gets in there at the knees for a called strike to Tanner Argyle, and it's quickly 2 balls and a strike on Argyle. The ball Argyle hit was to deep left center field. As you see, Kohler now not playing quite as deep right here. The pitch on its way in there for a called strike. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Tanner Argyle. It's a 3-3 game here in the bottom of the second inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Thanks for tuning in here on a Monday night for baseball on Spanish Fork 17. Also on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Great to be with everybody. I'm Ryan Pickens. As that one misses away, breaking for second is Brady Brook, and he's just going to be underneath the tag and is safe. So Brook now in scoring position for Spanish Fork on the heads-up stolen base. And now a base hit from Tanner Argyle could give the Dons their first lead of the ball game. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 gone here in the bottom of the second inning. The pitch on its way, misses low and away, ball 4, and so Tanner Argyle will be able to take first base on the walk. Runners on at first and second. Here's the pitcher, Cy Nielsen. Nielsen would love to help his own cause right here. Nielsen hit the big home run against Corner Canyon when in extra innings, when the Dons, it looked like that the Chargers had a shot to put the Dons in the 1-loss bracket. Cy Nielsen stepped up and hit a big walk-off home run. That one missing away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. And that, of course, put Corner Canyon in the bottom part of the bracket, and the Chargers eliminated earlier this morning by a good friend of Spanish Forks, the Salem Hills Skyhawks. The Skyhawks they'll play tomorrow evening. The 1-0 pitch, a breaking ball, gets in there for a called strike. They'll be one of the 4 teams that will be in action here tomorrow. They'll be here at 4:30 against, I believe it's going to be now Olympus for Salem Hills. Salem Hills will get the loser of tonight's ball game between Maple Mountain and Timpanogos. 1-1 pitch, blocked in the dirt for a ball. It's 2 balls and a strike. The loser of this one, they'll get the Skyline Eagles coming up tomorrow afternoon. That will be the early game. That will be, when I say early, I mean it'll be at like 1:30. So the early game, but the first game of the afternoon. The 2-1 pitch on its way, and Nielsen fouls this one away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cy Nielsen. Nielsen struck out back in the first. Looking to try to help his own cause out on the mound here. We've had a long first couple innings to this one. Running on at second base, Brady Brook. Tanner Argyle over at first. The 2-2 pitch on its way. Nielsen hits this one down the right field line. It's hooking, it's foul. And we'll have another 2-2 pitch about ready to come home. A very good-sized crowd. Lots of red have made the trip up north from Spanish Fork. A very good-sized crowd, really, just kind of looking around here. You see a lot of people here, and more people will file in. As Timpanogos being so close here, they'll have a very good-sized crowd here. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count here on Cy Nielsen. From the stretch, here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside and tight, ball 3. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes, the count here on Cy Nielsen. Brady Brook at second, Tanner Argyle over at first. They'll be off with the pitch here with 2 outs. Simper, the right-hander, working here as he takes a long look in behind the dish to Roberts. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Nielsen grounds this one to third. They tried to get the tag. Now they'll have to make the throw, which was low, but scooped out of the first by Shepard, and the inning is over. The Dons, however, get 2 back. We head to the third here on Spanish Fork 17 and KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Skyridge and Spanish Fork tied at 3. Top of the third inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and the Spanish Fork Dons found a way to tie it in the bottom of the second inning, putting up 2 runs of their own. And kind of interesting, Skyridge scored 2 in the first, Spanish Fork scoring 1 in the bottom of the first. Skyridge added 1 in the bottom of this, or in the top of the second, and 2 in the bottom, and then Spanish Fork 2 in the bottom of the third. So if the pattern continues, Skyridge would score 2 runs, but here in the third, but Cy Nielsen will try and put an end to that idea, as it will be Jay Shepard, Brock College, and then Caden Long. 4, 5, and 6 coming up here for the Skyridge Falcons. As the left-hander will be Cy Nielsen on the mound here for Spanish Fork on the opening day of the 4A state baseball tournament here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The 5A tournament going up right now at Kearns High School. And the first pitch inside and tight, and it hits Shepard as the curveball gets away from Cy Nielsen, and Jay Shepard's aboard to start the third inning. The second inning of this one, where Cy Nielsen has put the leadoff man on via the hit by pitch. He hit Jackson Kohler to start the first inning, and Brady Coolidge will come to the plate. Coolidge hit into a fielder's choice back in the first, but then ended up reaching on the throwing error from Tay Newman. Cy Nielsen from the stretch takes a look over at first. Runner kind of moving around, and Nielsen will just throw over, let him know, hey, I know you're there. Skyridge wearing the orange tops and gray pants. Spanish Fork in the all white uniforms with the red that has the S and the F over the chest. And that ball is going to be lifted to deep left field. Going back is Higginson. It's going to be on the warning track. He leaps up against the wall and couldn't get there. Higginson will now have to chase it down, as Shepard will get the stop sign at third, and Skyridge once again has runners on at second and third and nobody out on a double from Brody Coolidge. And now the Falcons threatening again to take the lead. That was a ball that fooled me off the bat. It looked like it was going to be fairly routine for Jackson Higginson, and Higginson just not able to. He had to go back up against the track, and when he made the leap up against the wall, just couldn't get there. And one thing to remember here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and I'm sure we'll get a shot of it as we go throughout the night, is it's only 305 directly down that left field line. And the first pitch, as Nielsen will take a look back. And so those balls, some of those routine fly balls that you would see, if it's hit directly down the right field or the left field line, potentially can easily get out. A little bit of a breeze kicking up here this evening at Brent Brown Ballpark. And the pitch on its way, a breaking ball that misses away for a ball one. It's 1 ball and no strikes. They count here on Caden Long. Long went down on strikes in his first plate appearance. Spanish Fork will play the infield back. They'll trade the out for the run right here. Nielsen kicks and delivers. This one swung out and missed by Caden Long, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The count here on Long. Skyridge 3, Spanish Fork 3. 1 ball and 1 strike. Corners in for Spanish Fork. Here's the 1-1 pitch, about ready to come home. Nielsen throws this one low and in the dirt. A good stop by Josh Cowden, and it's 2 balls and a strike. I don't think the right words come to mind when you talk about how important Josh Cowden has been behind home plate, making sure that these baseballs have kept in front of him. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count, ready to go. Here's the 2-1 pitch, a breaking ball that Long swings and misses at. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Caden Long. That big looping curveball from Cy Nielsen is, when it's been over the plate, has been effective. When it hasn't been over the plate, it's been tough to hit. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count, ready to go. And the 2-2 pitch on its way and lined right back up the middle for a base hit. That will get Shepard in. Coolidge right behind him. The throw from Brook will be cut off, and taking a big turnaround first is Caden Long, and it's a 5-3 lead for Skyridge. So Long able to hit one right hard back up through the box. And now third baseman Nathan Upham to come to the plate. Upham 0 for 1, went down on strikes in his only plate appearance of the ballgame. A 5-3 lead right now for Skyridge. If you like offense, this has been the game for you. Runner takes off. The throw down is not going to be just in the nick of time to get Caden Long trying to steal second base. A good throw from Josh Cowden. Put it right on the money to Tanner Argyle, who applied the tag, and there's 1 gone here for Upham. Josh Cowden having a quick conversation with the home plate umpire. I'm not sure what. They're going to appeal the first, and I think what Josh Cowden was saying, hey, I wanted to appeal. Why? And a couple of times, I think Josh Cowden's been asking for an appeal, and they'll never give it, so I think the home plate, I think he was just having a quick conversation with the home plate umpire. That one's over for a called strike, and it evens the count up on Upham at 1 ball and 1 strike. Having a quick conversation with the home plate umpire to say, hey, I want to appeal. Is there a reason why you're not giving me the appeal? That's the only thing I can think of. It's the 1-1 pitch to Upham's on its way, and that one low for ball 2. It's 2 balls and 1 strike on Nathan Upham. So Skyridge coming through with some key clutch base hits at just when they've needed them to help extend this lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swung out and missed, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Nielsen, it's not like that Cy Nielsen has pitched to the point where he hasn't been able to give you a chance to win the ball game. It's just been enough where Nielsen's just had a hard time with getting out of the inning. That one's pulled foul, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it's just been enough where Skyridge really has just been able to get those clutch base hits right when they need to get them. So you have to give Skyridge a lot of credit for coming through with those big base hits when they've needed them. And their Region 7 is very, very tough region as well. Here's the 2-2 pitch on its way. That one's going to be rolled foul. It could be projected to come down to Region 7 against Region 8 for the state championship. It wouldn't really be the first time that we've seen that matchup or a similar one like that, as now Upham has to tie the shoelace here. Stay tuned at the end of our ball game here on Spanish Fork 17. We'll have the MVP Sports MVP of the game for you. Should be fun. We'll see which Spanish Fork Don we name. That one's going to be an outside corner, but going to be called a ball, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A tough pitch right there, and Upham just able to swing through it. Here's the 3-2 pitch on its way home. And that one's fouled back to the screen. And the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Nathan Upham. Nielsen's one that really ready to go pretty quick on the mound. There's a called strike 3 right on the outside corner. Strikeout number 4 for Cy Nielsen. This one looking the second time Upham's gone down on strikes. And with 2 gone in the inning, it's going to bring up the right fielder, Isaac Garside. Garside went down on strikes in his first plate appearance. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Ready to go here. Nielsen set and comes home. That one's fouled away and it's 0-1. I think the difficult thing for Cy Nielsen tonight has been he hasn't been able to really get in a rhythm or a groove on the mound. And so it's taken him every time he starts to, I think, settle in. Skyridge finds a way to get some base hits. The 0-1 pitch off the plate for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Falcons 5 runs on 4 hits. They've really taken advantage of the free passes. The 2 hit batters by Nielsen and the 1-1 pitch on its way. Fouled back and it's 1-2. Nielsen has hit 2 batters and walked 2 batters. So given 4 kind of equivalent of free passes. And I think of those 3 of the 5 runs have scored because of those. Here's the 1-2 pitch on its way. Nielsen will kick and deliver. This one's right on the corner. Swung out, a miss, strike 3. And Cy Nielsen gets strikeout number 5 here in the 3rd. But Skyridge adds 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and none left on base. Heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's a 5-3 lead right now for the Skyridge Falcons. We'll take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast or many other broadcasts possible. I want to thank 2 Jacks Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and the Car Guys for making these broadcasts each and every week possible here on Spanish Fork 17. Bottom of the 3rd inning, getting ready to start here as the right-hander Jason Simper will go back to work. It will bring up for Spanish Fork Briggs Newman, Brendan Bradford, and Josh Cowden. And once again, the Dons having to try to play from behind here as they will try to see if they can somehow find a way maybe to get their first lead of the game. As it will be Briggs Newman, Brendan Bradford, and Josh Cowden as we're all getting used to the new location for the state baseball tournament. We're indoors in a press box this year, which will be a little bit different of our change than where we've been down the right field line between the 2 and the 3. Here over by the first place visitors dugout. We're in the box this year, and you know, there's some challenges that come from being inside and dealing with space, and we figured all of those out. Here's here's Briggs Newman to stand in and lead it off as the right-hander Jason Simper will come in. Ready to go here with the first pitch to Briggs Newman. That one misses low and away for a ball. It's 1-0 the count here on Briggs Newman. Newman 1 for 1, had a line drive base hit in his first at-bat. And the 1-0 pitch on its way home misses low, ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes, the count here on Briggs Newman. From the stretch, Simper kicks and delivers. Newman fouls this one off the inside part of the bat. And it's 2 balls and a strike here on Briggs Newman. 1-2 the count. Newman quickly steps out of the box, now steps back in. The 2-1 pitch on its way, a breaking ball. It's going to be bounced up over the head of the pitcher. Charging the second baseman, and the ball is going to, on the transfer, slip out of the hands of Peck. So reaching on the what should be a base hit for Briggs Newman, his second hit of the ball game. And here's Brendan Bradford. First pitch was just past 4:30. We are an hour into this ball game, and we're not even through the first 3 innings. Slow-moving ball game here this afternoon. The first 2, if you've been watching those on as that one misses high for ball one. There've actually been pretty quick ball games. As our previous games today, it was Olympus defeating Skyline. What a ball game that one was. Came down to a one-run ball game. Skyline, a walk-off two-run single. A pitcher's duel, really, for the most part. The score might kind of surprise you. The breaking ball, Bradford steps back, lines this one down the left field line off the top of the wall. Briggs Newman will take the turn, and he will hold at second. A very long base hit for Brendan Bradford. And Spanish Fork has runners on at first and second with nobody out for Josh Cowden. The first game of the day, another good one, Salem Hills and Corner Canyon. Well, Corner Canyon put the tying and winning runs on base, and then a big out. Carter Sorensen able to shut the door for Salem Hills. And that got the Skyhawks into tomorrow's 4:30 contest. It's either Maple Mountain or Timpanogos. We're gonna have a visit out to the mound here by the Skyridge head coach. So Casey Nelson will counter with a meeting of his own as we play here in the bottom of the third inning at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. As it's conference on the mound. Right now, I don't think either coach may be thrilled with the pitching in this one with all these runs scored early on, but right now it's more about, can you stay in, can you fight to get a win? These are the games where you may not win it because you're the better team, but you might just be the team that can outlast the other. So Spanish Fork will have runners on at first and second. It will be Briggs Newman at second. It will be Brendan Bradford at first. And it will be Josh Cowden who will be standing in at the plate. The first visit out to the mound, Spanish Fork will run some new baseballs out. Now we'll be just about set and ready to go back here with no outs in the bottom of the third inning. It will be Josh Cowden who had a triple to deep left center field in his first at-bat. Standing in, ready to go. Simper will take a look at second, now looks the runner back to the second base bag. The sophomore right-hander working here from the stretch. Takes another long look out of Briggs Newman, and the pitch on its way. That one blocked it, bounced in the dirt, didn't really have a chance, and the tying runs now move into scoring position. Newman to third, Bradford to second. That one didn't even get to the home plate area, bounced about the cut of the grass there. As you can see it, that kind of circle there on the infield grass just kind of bounced right up into the backstop. And now runners on at second and third, nobody out, and Josh Cowden an opportunity to maybe tie it here with a base hit. That one stays high, ball two. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Bottom of the third inning, a 5-3 lead for Skyridge. Here on a Monday night for high school baseball, the state tournament. The 2-0 pitch on its way. Breaking ball grounded right back through the box. That will get Briggs Newman home. Brendan Bradford right behind him. And Josh Cowden with one swing of the bat has tied the game at 5. Two RBI single, and we'll see Carson Chappell now come in and run again for Josh Cowden, and the second visit out to the mound, which means we will have a pitching change here at the ballpark. It will be Tay Newman will be the hitter. And I believe now Skyridge has to on the second visit. They have to make a move. And Jason Simper's night is going to come to an end. It will be Tay Newman will be the hitter. We'll get the new pitcher here momentarily for what will be the right-hander. We'll see here who the new pitcher is going to be for the Skyridge Falcons. And we'll see here. It's going to be number 12, and it's going to be Mitchell Sampson. We saw Sampson earlier in the game come in to run, but now Sampson will come in. The right-hander will get ready to pitch. And right now, the third pitcher already for the Skyridge Falcons. You have to wonder in a sense right now if they're managing pitch count sort of a thing right now. If they're right now they're just trying to manage to see if who's going to throw how many pitches, if trying to save some arms for later on. because we've only seen pitchers, I would imagine, I haven't been keeping track, but I would imagine we've seen pitchers go right around 35 pitches or so that way they're available for later on in the tournament. Skyridge, even if Skyridge loses this ball game, they're not going to be up at they'll be in the one-loss bracket, but they're not going to be eliminated. Tay Newman will be the hitter. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. As Mitchell Sampson will take over here on the mound, the third pitcher of the ball game. Mitchell Sampson will come in. Tay Newman at the plate. The first pitch, low ball one. 1 ball and no strikes on Tay Newman. They're going to go here. These two teams will battle it out here. Newman will take a look down to the third base coach's box, into the dugout. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. 5-5 tie, bunt shown. Tay Newman pulls it back, and that one misses low for a ball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes on Mitchell Sampson. 2-0 on Tay Newman. Mitchell Sampson's the pitcher. So I guess in a sense you could say he's down 0-2, but that doesn't really make a ton of sense either for baseball. The 2-0 pitch to Tay Newman misses ball 3, and it's 3-0 the count on Tay Newman. 3 base hits here in the inning have equated to 2 Spanish Fork runs. Here's the 3-0 pitch on its way. That one right on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 3-1 on Tay Newman. Andrew Pintar in the on-deck circle for Spanish Fork. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. Josh Cowden ready to go here, gets his lead. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Inside and tight, but missed low, ball 4. And so now Josh Cowden will move to, Chappell will move to second. Tay Newman on, and now Andrew Pintar has runners on at first and second, nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. And this has traditionally been a situation where we've seen head coach Casey Nelson really just think about laying down the bunt and moving the runners over. We've kind of seen him as he's gone throughout the tournament here. We'll see how head coach Casey Nelson decides to play it here. Pintar shows bunt, lays it down the first baseline. Maybe bunted a little hard, but it does the job, moves the runners up 90 feet. So now runners on at second and third. Pintar has his second sacrifice bunt of the ball game. And now Jackson Higginson up in a very similar situation that he was up in the second inning when he flew out to left field. Similar situation, however, all he needs is a base hit to get that run home. Ready to go right here. Higginson will stand in. Running over at third base, Carson Chappell. Tay Newman, the runner at second. The pitch. Higginson showed bunt. There's the snap throw to first, and the ball kind of skips by as both Carson Chappell and the third baseman Upham they collided. They didn't collide very hard. Nonetheless, be a 1 ball, no strike count on Jackson Higginson. Higginson standing in. 1 ball, no strike count, 1 away. Here's the 1-0 pitch on its way. That one missing. Low and outside, ball 2. And it's 2 balls and no strikes on Jackson Higginson. Brady Brook in the on-deck circle would hit for Spanish Fork if the inning continues. From the stretch, Sampson comes inside and tight, almost gets to the backstop. Ball 3, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. The count on Jackson Higginson. 1 gone here in the bottom of the third inning. And the 3-0 pitch on its way home. That one low and inside, ball 4. And the Dons have loaded the bases. And if there's a guy you didn't want to put on, it's Jackson Higginson. With his speed, if Brady Brook was to put one in the gaps, the bases are going to clear. And now head coach Casey Nelson out to have a quick conversation with Brady Brook in this situation. With 1 out, Brook doesn't need necessarily a ball in the gap to give his team the lead. Really, right now, all he needs is a fly ball deep enough to the outfield to bring home Tay Newman, and Spanish Fork would have their first lead of the ball game. Biggest thing is making sure that you avoid the double play. Brady Brook has hit in both the first and the second innings this evening. Grounded out to first and had RBI single back in the second. Big gap out in right center field. The pitch to Brook. He swings, hits this one to center, right at the center fielder Kohler. Tay Newman will tag, put his head down, and the throw is going to come in. And scoring from third is Tay Newman. Carson Chappell will score from third. And it will make the ball game right now a 6-5 lead for Spanish Fork. The Don's first lead of the ball game, the second RBI from Brady Brook, and here's Tanner Argyle. So professional hitting right there by the center fielder Brady Brook, just to make sure that he can try to find some way to get the fly ball to the outfield. Here's Tanner Argyle. That one skips the backstop. The catcher can't find it, and the runners will both move up 90 feet. So again, a wild pitch by Skyridge moves the runners up, and here's Tanner Argyle. Argyle an RBI triple, just a triple, and then walked in his second at bat. He's been aboard twice this evening for Spanish Fork. And now some more action beginning to go down in the Skyridge bullpen. A right-hander and a left-hander beginning to throw. And the 1-0 pitch on its way. That one misses for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2 balls and no strikes here on Tanner Argyle. Quickly ready to go. The 2-0 pitch misses outside ball 3, and it's 3 balls and no strikes on Tanner Argyle. So right now it's interesting to see. You kind of wonder how much depth does the Skyridge pitching staff have. Ready to go. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That one missing low, ball 4, and the bases are full, and the 9th man to come to the plate here in the inning will be Cy Nielsen. Nielsen with the same situation with very good speed on the base paths, where a ball in the gap once again would open up this ball game quite a bit, and we'll have a visit out to the mound here by the Skyridge head coach to have a conversation. Casey Nelson will talk with his players here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Well, we want to remind everybody, stay tuned whether you're on Spanish Fork 17, if you're on live.ksl.com and DeseretNews.com. We got one more game coming up here in a little bit. We get ready here. We will get ready to have Maple Mountain against Timpanogos. And the nightcap here, and boy, it's going to be still nice in the 60s tonight for that nice late ball game. As we'll have the other game here from the no loss bracket up at the top. And now, believe we're going to have another pitching change. We will. The left-hander will come in. Skyridge will make their 4th pitching change of the ball game. It will be number 47 coming in to pitch for Skyridge. That's going to be Brett Roberts, a senior, who will come in to face Cy Nielsen. So it will be the left-hander, Roberts, who will take over. He'll get the 9th man to come to the plate here in the inning, Cy Nielsen. The bases are full for Spanish Fork. You got Tay Newman at 3rd, Jackson Higginson at 2nd, and Tanner Argyle will be over at 1st. Again, a ball in the gap here, if you're Skyridge, really puts you in an early deficit. For the Dons, who just have their first lead of the ball game, as I believe that was 47 on the mound, but I want to say they might have announced somebody different than what I thought it was, so we'll double check that here momentarily. Here's Cy Nielsen with the bases loaded. The pitch, low, ball 1 ball and no strikes, the count. The left-hander will work here from the stretch. 1 ball and no strikes, the count on Cy Nielsen. The 1-0 pitch on its way. Nielsen takes that one low and outside. Ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So right now, if you're the Spanish Fork Dons, you might want to just make the Skyridge pitching staff come over the plate to you here. The 2-0 pitch to Nielsen. That was going to be chopped to short. This could get Skyridge out of the inning, and it will. However, the Dons come back. They scored 3 runs. They have their first lead. We head to the 4th here on Spanish Fork 17, KSL.com, and DeseretNews.com. Spanish Fork 6, Skyridge 5.
For Spanish Fork in the bottom of the 3rd inning, they scored 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 3 runners left on base. After 3 complete innings, place now Spanish Fork 6, Skyridge 5.
Top of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, as Cy Nielsen will get ready to start the 4th inning here for the Spanish Fork Dons. And for the first time this afternoon, he will take the mound right now with a 1-run lead. He'll have a 6-5 lead, the first time pitching with a lead as we head to the 4th. It will be Kai Roberts, Jackson Kohler, and Jackson Peck coming up, 9-1 and 2. And we'll see if maybe the left-hander Cy Nielsen pitches a little bit differently with the lead as he tries to see if he can find a groove. Nielsen has struck out the last 2 hitters that he faced, so we'll kind of see if maybe he can settle in here a little bit for the Spanish Fork Dons. With the 3 days rest on the mound, even if he throws 85, 86 pitches, he would still be eligible to come back if Spanish Fork needed him on Friday in the state championship. He would still be available. And the pitch on its way is going to be lifted foul down the line as Tay Newman gave it a quick look, and no balls and a strike to count here on Kai Roberts. Roberts 1 for 1, had a single, and then Mitchell Sampson, the pitcher, the new pitcher for Skyridge, came in and ran for him. Well, I guess Sampson's no longer on the mound. That one's fouled back to the screen, and it's 0-2. All the changes for Skyridge starting to get in my head a little bit here. The 0-2 pitch coming here to Kai Roberts. Nielsen looking for his 3rd straight K, and almost got it right there. Just missed below the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kai Roberts. Infield back for Spanish Fork here in the top of the 4th inning. The wind starts to blow out as the 1-2 pitch misses ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes, which will could cause some trouble for the outfielders right now as that wind kind of blowing out towards right a little bit here today. The 2-2 pitch checked his swing, and they want an appeal, and he did go, says the third base umpire on appeal. The 3rd straight strikeout for Cy Nielsen, his 6th of the ball game, and now they go back to the top of the Skyridge lineup and Jackson Kohler. Kohler was hit by a pitch and also doubled back in the 2nd inning. Kohler had a big RBI double on a ball that was hit deep into the right center field gap. Here's the pitch on its way. The fastball misses low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Jackson Kohler. Kohler's done a nice job in the leadoff spot for Skyridge as the 1-0 pitch comes on its way, misses ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes on Kohler. Jackson Peck will hit next for the Skyridge Falcons. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one low, ball 3. It's 3-0 on Jackson Kohler. Good sized crowd filing in, continuing to file in here on a Monday night. The 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike, and it's 3-1. Always get a really good sized crowd in the evening games here as the 3-1 pitch gets ready to come home, and that one's gonna get missed, ball 4. So Kohler draws himself a 1-out walk here in the 4th inning, and now that's gonna bring up Jackson Peck. Peck walked back in the 1st inning and reached on an error by the 2nd baseman Andrew Pintar in the 2nd. It's a 1-run ball game, a 6-5 lead for Spanish Fork. The late game is supposed to start at 7 o'clock, but we'll see how the rest of this one goes. As Nielsen throws over and back standing is Kohler. Yeah, I want to be as optimistic as I can with that one, but just by the pace of this one, we may not be starting that one on time. The first pitch over for a called strike, so in there for a strike to Jackson Peck. So if you're watching this game down in Spanish Fork and you're coming up for the Maple Mountain game, you may want to stay tuned to the TV here on Spanish Fork 17. We'll try to give you an idea, as rough estimate as we can, as we get closer to this one ending, about when that game would start. Here's the 0-1 pitch, about time called, as Peck will stand out of the batter's box. Maybe kind of difficult to give you an exact, time, but you may want to think about that a little bit more as you get ready to go make the trip up I-15 to Orem. The 0-1 pitch, Nielsen will throw back over, and diving back safely is Jackson Kohler. We saw Josh Cowden throw out one Falcon trying to steal a base earlier in the ball game. A great throw down to Tanner Argyle covering the bag. No balls and a strike. The fastball misses high and away for a ball. Count evens up here, 1 ball and 1 strike on Jackson Peck. One ball, 1 strike, 1 gone here in the top of the 4th inning. Looking to try to see, as Josh Cowden wants to go out and have a conversation with Cy Nielsen. No action in the Spanish Fork bullpen, so head coach Casey Nelson seems pretty comfortable right now with having the sophomore on the hill. Nielsen's had a really good year for Spanish Fork. We saw him early on in the season maybe go an inning, maybe 2, well, generally about 3 or so innings, but as the season's gone on, he's gotten out there longer and longer. Here's the 1-1 pitch, about ready to come home, and the delivery on its way in there for a called strike at the knees. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count on Jackson Peck. Briggs Newman holding the runner over at first base, with Jackson Kohler getting his lead. Kohler kind of leaning towards second, and here's the 1-2 pitch, about ready to come, and throwing over again to get Kohler back to the bag is the left-hander Cy Nielsen. Big gap in right center field as Higginson's playing kind of a little more closer to that left field line. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be rolled over to third. Tay Newman takes a bad hop, and everybody's going to be safe. Newman was in a great defensive position, and the ball just took a bad hop at the last second, and that, I believe, they're going to give Tay Newman an error on that. If they do, that would be the 2nd time that Jackson Peck has reached on an error. If that is, that's going to be, nope, they're going to give him a base hit for that, which that's a tough play to make on the back hop there. With 1 out, here is Clayton Driggs with a couple of runners on and 1 man out. Skyridge putting the tying run right now in scoring position, and Jackson Kohler, a base hit here, can tie the ball game. Pitch on its way, breaking ball in there for a call, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes here on Clayton Driggs. Driggs has walked and then flown out to left. Right here, top of the 4th inning, couple runners on base here, 1 gone. Here's the 1-0 pitch, about ready to come home, and this one's going to be lined right to center field. Brook takes a couple steps back. He'll make the catch. Kohler will act like he's going to tag, but a good throw cut off by Tanner Argyle, and that's a big 2nd out of the inning right there on a line drive shot. That a nice job by Brady Brook to be right there to make the play for the 2nd out of the inning. Here's Jace Shepard. Shepard is popped out to 2nd and then also hit by a pitch. Came around to score a run back in the 3rd inning. And Cy Nielsen right now trying to get that final out and put a 0 up against Skyridge for the first time tonight. It would be actually the first time that a pitcher has held the other team scoreless. A breaking ball misses for ball 1. It's 1 ball and no strikes here on Jace Shepard. Jackson Higginson in left field is playing about a step off the warning track. The 1-0 pitch on its way home, checks his swing. The runner takes off, and Kohler will make it to third. No throw from Josh Cowden. And so the tying run now for Skyridge, 90 feet away. And now with 2 outs in the inning, you got to get the defensive signals on to see who can cover where when the throw comes. There. If Jackson Peck decides to take off for second base, whether you're going to throw down or cut the throw. In our second game of the day between Skyline and Olympus, both teams manufactured runs in these kind of situations without necessarily getting the traditional base hit, as the 1-2 pitch is fouled back. I think it was Skyline actually pulled off. They sent the runner from first and the runner from third, and the throw got cut off by Hayden Curtis, but the throw couldn't beat him. So Peck there will just be given second base, almost uncontested. In fact, it really was uncontested. Cowden didn't even bother throwing down there. And with 2 outs, here's Jay Shepard with a 2-2 count. A base hit here potentially gives Skyridge a lead. Here's the 2-2 pitch on its way to Shepard. That one's going to be popped up. Question is, will it be playable? Tay Newman in foul territory makes the catch, and the inning is over. First time in this ball game that we did not have a run scored. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, and it is a 6-5 lead right now for Spanish Fork. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We want to thank 2 Jacks Pizza, McKell Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, Dickerson Automotive, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, the Car Guys, and Lance Wilson State Farm. We thank everybody for making this broadcast or many other broadcasts this season possible here on Spanish Fork. We also want to remind you to follow our social media pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to keep up with the latest shows, the live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. So bottom of the 4th inning right now, as we have some more press box fun tonight. As it will be the middle part of the lineup coming up for Spanish Fork. It will be Briggs Newman, Brendan Bradford, and Josh Cowden. The same part of the lineup that came up to actually start last inning, a 3-run third for Spanish Fork. So Briggs Newman, Brendan Bradford, Josh Cowden, they'll face the left-hander here for the Skyridge Falcons, which I have down as number 47, Brett Roberts, a senior. That's what I have down on my roster, as Briggs Newman will stand in. And the first pitch misses for ball 1 to Newman. 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Briggs Newman. We've seen Skyridge use multiple arms out of that bullpen. And Roberts ready to go here and comes home, and that one's fouled back by Briggs Newman. And it's 1-1 on the Spanish Fork first baseman. Briggs Newman 2 for 2 with a pair of hits and a run scored. Trying to see if he can get something started here for Spanish Fork here in the 4th. Pitch on its way, a breaking ball's hit to right center field. That's going to fall in front of Kohler in center field. And so a leadoff single for Briggs Newman. He's aboard for the 3rd time in the ball game. And here's Brendan Bradford. A slow breaking pitch that just caught the middle part. It kind of elevated a little bit and made it for a nice easy swing there for Briggs Newman. Brendan Bradford's 1 for 2, hit into a fielder's choice and had a run scoring single back in the 3rd. Ready to go, and here's the first pitch. Roberts home. Bradford acts like he's going to show a bunt, but then I think just kind of missed it there, and it's 0-1 on Brendan Bradford. Bradford was halfway down the first baseline where they chalk out the actual baseline there. You can't see it in your picture right now at home, but he was halfway to the spot where they draw the second line down the first baseline. bunting for a base hit with Upham playing now, even with the third base back. No balls and 1 strike, nobody out, bottom of the 4th inning. The pitch on its way, right on the outside corner for a called strike. And it's 0-2 the count on Brendan Bradford. Here's the 0-2 pitch, about ready to come home. From the stretch and the delivery on its way, Bradford lifts that one foul. And we'll do the 0-2 pitch over again. Maple Mountain has arrived. They are wearing their, looks like their home white uniforms tonight. So Golden Eagles may be the home team. And the late game tonight against the Timpanogos Timberwolves. The 0-2 pitch, fastball misses high and away. And they'll make this throw down to first, but Newman back on the bag. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes, as you saw Shepard there apply the tag with the foot of Briggs Newman on the bag. 1-2 the count on Brendan Bradford. Brett Roberts on the mound, the left-hander, looks in and comes home a breaking ball that again never broke back over the plate. Ball 2, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Working the count well right now is Brendan Bradford. Bradford will take a quick step out of the box, now stands back in. From the stretch, Roberts takes a look over at first. The 2-2 pitch misses away, ball 3, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Brendan Bradford. Pitchers have been very willing to slow down the pace of this game, very willing to take their time, make sure they have the right pitch. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Bradford. That one's lifted into center field. Taking a few steps back, reaching up and making the catch is Kohler. And there's 1 away here in the 4th. So Brendan Bradford has a long battle with Brett Roberts that ends up in being a fly ball out. And here's Josh Cowden. Cowden 2 for 2, a triple and an RBI single in the 3rd. Stands in here with 1 gone in the 4th.
The catcher, number 7, Josh Cowden.
Cowden has done such a great job defensively for Spanish Fork. Definitely a guy that's in there probably a little bit more for his glove behind the plate than his bat, but there's swings through it, and it's 0-1. Although he's had a very good offensive season for Spanish Fork as well. He's done a nice job here tonight with a pair of hits for the Dons. No balls and a strike to count, and you're going to see, I believe, Brendan Bradford start to throw in the Spanish Fork bullpen. That one fouled back, and it's no balls and 2 strikes here on Josh Cowden. Cowden will step out of the box now. We'll get ready to stand back in. Briggs Newman running on at first, being held on by Shepard. Infield up the middle, double play depth. The pitch on its way. There's a ground ball past the diving second baseman Peck into center field. Briggs Newman will hold at second. And Josh Cowden's now 3 for 3 on the evening with his 3rd base hit. And now we'll bring up a 1-for-1 Tay Newman. So Spanish Fork has done a nice job hitting the baseballs. We'll see Carson Chappell once again come in and run for Josh Cowden. The Dons have hit the baseball well. That's the 10th hit of the night for Spanish Fork. The biggest thing hurting them has been the 5 runs that Skyridge scored in the first 3 innings. So Chappell back in to run speed up, and now Tay Newman will stand in. Newman a slightly open stance in the box. And the pitch, a breaking ball, stays high for a ball, 1-0. Skyridge has a right-hander who's been throwing in their bullpen down the right field line. Brendan Bradford continuing to get loose down in the Spanish Fork bullpen, getting loose pretty quick. Here's the pitch on its way as Tay Newman grounds this one to third. Upham gets the out at third, the throw across the diamond in time for the 5-3 double play. And the 4th inning comes to an end. The Dons get a couple of runners on base. They end up stranding 1. We head to the 5th. Spanish Fork 6, Skyridge 5. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com, DeseretNews.com, and Spanish Fork 17.
No runs, 2 hits, no errors. There was 1 runner left on base. Skyridge 5. If you're looking for a tire store, look out for you. Look the Let's Walk. With more than 400 locations throughout the West, it is the Let's Walk Tire Sample Spot. Check out the Deseret News for the best place to read about prep sport. Online at DeseretNews.com. Deseret News, and you know. RPT is a proud sponsor of high school activities. Visit RPTonline.com for more information. RPT, providing 40 years of exceptional patient care.
Top of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. Cy Nielsen will start the inning for Spanish Fork here, as it will be the middle part of the lineup coming up here for the Skyridge Falcons, 5, 6, and 7. So the middle part, and I guess as we head to the bottom part of the lineup here. And the first pitch hitting a ball deep to left field is Brody College, and that ball is gone. Collage goes deep to left field, and just one swing of the bat, and we're tied back up at 6. A pitch that caught the middle part of the plate, and there was no doubt about that one. We're tied at 6. Well, and here comes Caden Long, as now another right-hander will begin to throw down in the Spanish Fork bullpen. As we're tied back up at 6 here in the 5th, and the pitch on its way, a fastball that stays high and away. Ball 1 to Caden Long. Long 1 for 2. As that's Dylan Hall up in the pin for Spanish Fork. That one fouled away, and we'll do it over again here. As you see, the field almost starting to get covered in some shadows, but right now covered in nothing but sunlight, as another couple of arms get loose down in the Skyridge bullpen. The 1-1 pitch on its way home. That one a fastball that misses high and away, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. And the delivery on its way, that one misses, ball 3. And the count moves to 3-1 on Caden Long. Up in the Skyridge bullpen, it appears to be Carter Smith. The 3-1 pitch on its way, in there for a called strike, and 3-2. And then I have a number 52, but I don't see 52 on my roster anywhere. So the count will go full 3-2 the count here on Caden Long. The pitch on its way rolled foul, and we'll do the 3-2 over again. Caden Long had a 2-run single back in the 3rd inning, struck out back in the 1st. Left-hander Cy Nielsen hasn't been as sharp as Don fans might be used to him seeing. There's one pulled right to Tay Newman, who gloves it for the first out of the inning on the line drive. And there's one out here in the 5th inning. Here's the 3rd baseman, Nathan Upham. Upham 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. And Casey Nelson going to come out of the dugout, and I would think this is going to be the end of the line for Cy Nielsen here this afternoon at Brent Brown Ballpark. Would make sense. Nielsen not his sharpest outing. He will depart right now. But one thing that both of the pitchers and all the pitchers that have thrown in this one have done is they really have put their teams in a position to win this ball game. And although maybe not the most sharpest outing for Cy Nielsen or the most sharpest outing for the Skyridge pitchers, we're in a 6-6 tie in the top of the 5th inning. They're still in a position where they have a shot to win the ball game. We'll see Brendan Bradford take over on the mound, and then Cy Nielsen will actually go out into right field here for Spanish Fork. So a couple of quick changes here. Let's grab sponsors here really quick, as we want to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We want to thank MVP Sports, 2 Jacks Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, The Car Guys, Dickerson Automotive, and Lance Wilson State Farm. We thank them for making these broadcasts possible, as we look forward to hopefully being here for a good portion of the week if Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain will continue to win ball games. The Golden Eagles are here. They are sitting down the first baseline, kind of halfway up, watching this one. Timpanogos is here as well. They're out on the berm down the third baseline. They will both be patiently waiting their turn to take the field. Scheduled for a 7 p.m. first pitch, but we'll have to kind of see here what happens as we go throughout the ball game today. So Brendan Bradford will take over on the mound. Bradford will get an 0 for 2 Nathan Upham here in the top of the 5th inning. So Bradford, the right-hander, will get ready for his first hitter here. Cy Nielsen will get a no decision, as Brendan Bradford will be the new pitcher of record. Bradford kicks and delivers his first pitch to Upham right on the outside corner for a called strike. And now we'll see if maybe Brendan Bradford gets in a little bit more of a groove. Cy Nielsen tonight just seems like Skyridge kept him from getting into any sort of groove. The 0-1 pitch in there on the outside corner. And it's quickly 0-2 on Brendan Bradford. Or here, I'm sorry, on Nathan Upham. Bradford ahead of the count, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch coming up here. The kick and the delivery on its way. Fastball swung out and missed, strike 3. The first strikeout for Brendan Bradford, the third time that Upham has gone down on strikes. And with 2 outs, here's Isaac Garside. Garside 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Wearing the number 50. That's a number you don't see a ton in high school baseball. Garside ready to go, and the first pitch on its way, swung out and missed. It's no balls and a strike on Garside. Ready to go. Bradford will come set, kicks and delivers the 0-1 pitch. Right in there at the knees for a called strike 2. And it's quickly 0-2 the count on Isaac Garside. Bradford looking into Josh Cowden, kicks and delivers the 0-2 pitch. And Garside fouls that one back. And we'll do it again as you see a nice shot of the field and the stadium here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Utah Valley playing their home baseball here, and then a minor league team, the Orem Owls, will be here this summer. Was right just off the plate for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And boy, it's just a nice facility here, and put a lot of people in for high school baseball still. That one low for a ball, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Isaac Garside. The 4A tournament being played here this week. The 5A semifinals will move here on Wednesday. The 2-2 pitch in there almost for a call. Strike 3 just missing. The Spanish Fork faithful there wanting a strike 3, almost trying to plead with the umpire to give it to him. Here's the 3-2 pitch about ready to come home, and the pitch on its way is be rolled foul. That one just off the top of the Spanish Fork dugout. And we'll do it again here with the 3-2 pitch. For the Dons in the bottom of the 5th inning, it will be Andrew Pintar, Jackson Higginson, Brady Brook coming up 8, 9, and 1. Here's the 3-2 pitch on its way. Swung out of it, strike 3. And Brendan Bradford gets a couple of strikeouts. Again, the third time Garside's gone down on strikes, and the inning's over. But the big home run extends the lead out here into the bottom of the 5th inning. We're tied at 6 here on Spanish Fork 17 here. As we're going to go ahead, we'll send it to break. When we come back, the Dons coming up. Bottom of the fifth inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, as it will be Andrew Pintar, Jackson Higginson, and Brady Brook coming up here for the Dons, as they will have an opportunity to try to see if they can break this tie. We're tied at 6 in the bottom of the fifth inning. Scheduled to play 7 here in high school baseball. If you're just joining us, we'll have a new pitcher on the mound. It's going to be number 29. That's Carter Smith, who will come in. Number 29 out of the bullpen. It's the 5th pitcher of the ball game for the Skyridge Falcons. Andrew Pintar standing in. Pintar on the ball game has 2 sacrifice bunts, and that one misses high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes here on Andrew Pintar. Pintar's had some good ball games for Spanish Fork in that bottom part of the lineup. It'd be nice to see if Pintar and Higginson can get aboard. That one's in there, the kind of the curveball in there for a called strike. It evens the count up at 1-1. Because with the speed of Pintar and the speed of Jackson Higginson, then you go to Brady Brook and really put a lot of pressure on that Skyridge infield. The 1-1 pitch. Pintar hits this one into center field. Coming over and making the catch is Jackson Kohler, and there's 1 away. So 1 gone. Here's Jackson Higginson. Higginson 0 for 1 has flown out to left and walked back in the 3rd. Now we'll see. Was wondering if maybe we might not see him try to drag bunt, but first pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Seems to be something Skyridge is preparing for with the corners Upham and Shepard playing a little bit in. The 1-0 pitch. Higginson takes that one on the outside corner. The count evens up here at 1 ball and 1 strike. The bullpen pitchers, Smith and Bradford, both working a little bit quicker. The 1-1 pitch misses away for a ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike here on Jackson Higginson. The sun out, the crowd is out. The 2-1 pitch, low ball 3, and it's 3-1 on Jackson Higginson. It's really been kind of nice to see as you got a good-sized crowd here, ready to go. Here's the 3-1, fouled straight back, and count will go full. 3-2 on Jackson Higginson. The kick and the delivery from Smith on its way. Higginson makes contact and fouls it away for strike 2. It may have come out of the glove there of Kai Roberts and potentially dropped what could have been a called 3rd strike. Here's the 3-2 pitch, about ready to come home, and Smith kicks and delivers to Higginson outside, ball 4, and Jackson Higginson's aboard with 1 out in the inning. And now you turn it back over to the top of the lineup and center fielder Brady Brook. The dangerous part about this is now you put some speed on the base paths. And Brady Brook will be the hitter. Brook has a sacrifice fly, an RBI single, and a ground out to first on the evening for Spanish Fork. And the pitch right on the outside corner, but missed low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The winner of this one will play on Wednesday at 4:30. And that spot will clinch one of the state championship spots. The 5A will play at 11 and 1:30, and then the 4A will play at 4:30 and 7. And if you drop that ball game, you play a doubleheader. Brady Brook fouls that one away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. You would come back to play at 7 against whoever emerges from that 1-loss bracket. Skyline right now making quite a run all the way through the bottom part of the bracket. That one getting in there for a called strike 2. It's 1-2 on Brady Brook. So Brook will try to see if he can try to get going here. Here's the 1-2 pitch right on the outside corner, called strike 3. It froze Brady Brook, and that will be the first strikeout for Carter Smith. And there's 2 away here in the 5th. Here's Tanner Argyle. Argyle's walked twice to go along with a triple. Working here from the stretch, the runner takes off the throw. Diving into seconds, Jackson Higginson. The ball kind of squirts away into shallow right field. A nice job by Jackson Higginson. He's able to steal the bag, and now good speed on second base for Spanish Fork here in the bottom of the 5th inning, where a base hit could give the Dons a 7-6 lead. Carter Smith, the right-hander, working from the stretch. Takes a look in behind home plate. The 1-0 pitch is going to miss for a ball. 2-0 is a nice stop by Kai Roberts behind the plate, making sure he can kind of keep this one in front of him. 2 balls, no strikes, the count on Tanner Argyle. Smith kicks and delivers. This one rolled foul, and we'll do the 2-0 over again here. It'll be 2 balls and a strike on Tanner Argyle. Six runs on 6 hits and no errors for the Skyridge Falcons. 6 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors, and 2 left on base as Argyle swings through it. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes here on the Spanish Fork shortstop. Argyle, one of the seniors on this team that has been in this ballpark before. Won a state championship here. There's going to be a called strike 3, and back-to-back strikeouts end the inning. And the Dons strand a base runner. We head to the 6th here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Skyridge 6, Spanish Fork 6 on Spanish Fork 17, KSL.com, and DeseretNews.com. Top of the 6th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. As we play the late innings of this one, we're tied at 6 between Skyridge and Spanish Fork. As the Skyridge Falcons coming up, it will be Kai Roberts, Jackson Kohler, and then Jackson Peck coming up, 9-1 and 2. As Brendan Bradford will stay on the mound here and pitch for Spanish Fork. Infield back for the Dons, and the pitch on its way to Kai Roberts is going to be lined to center field, but Brady Brook will take 2 steps and make the catch. And there's 1 out here in the 6th inning. So if there's one thing that you want if you're Spanish Fork, it's probably a quick 1-2-3 inning and try to build off some of this positive momentum.
Center fielder number 7, Josh Cowden. Correction.
As here comes Jackson Kohler. And the first pitch to Kohler is in there for a called strike. Ready to go right now. And here's the pitch on its way. That one missing away for a ball, and the count moves to 1-1 on Jackson Kohler. Kohler's been hit by a pitch as an RBI double and walked in his last at bat in the 4th. Bradford kicks and delivers this one. Fastball that misses away, ball 2. It's 2-1 on Jackson Kohler. Ready to go. Here's the 2-1 pitch. The kick and the delivery on its way. Swung out and missed. Kohler just a little out in front, and it's 2-2. Nice job by Brendan Bradford. Kind of able to mix up the pitches there and does a nice job. The 2-2 pitch on its way home. Swung out and missed. Strike 3. Got Kohler to chase. The 3rd strikeout for Brendan Bradford. And now I'll bring up Jackson Peck. Peck has reached on an error twice. Both, I think, Don's errors. Nope, sorry, I take that back. He was a single last time. He reached on an error in the 2nd, walked back in the 4th. And the pitch on its way is going to be a called strike on the outside corner. And it's 0-1, the count here on Jackson Peck. Ready to go. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one missing away for a ball, and the count evens up at 1-1. Bradford winds, kicks, and delivers. Here's the 1-1 pitch, right on the outside corner. This time a called strike, and it's 1-2 the count here on Jackson Peck. Clayton Driggs, the hitter, will hit next if the inning continues. Past Jackson Peck, the 1-2 pitch on its way, misses for a ball, and the count evens up at 2-2. Bradford not wasting much time in between pitches. Pretty much gets the ball back, gets on the hill, and ready to go. The 2-2 pitch swung out of this, strike 3. Brendan Bradford with 2 more strikeouts. He's got 4 on the night, and the Dons now with an opportunity to come up in the bottom of the 6th inning, looking for 1 run at least to regain the lead, as it will be Cy Nielsen, Briggs Newman, and Brendan Bradford, 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We want to thank the Car Guys, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, Dickerson Automotive, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and Two Jacks Pizza. We thank everybody for making this broadcast possible here this evening as we come to you from the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament. Here, we thank those especially listening and watching tonight on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. And for all those who are listening in Spanish Fork, we'll see here if the Dons can pull through and get a victory and get into what game that would be coming up on Thursday or Wednesday night in the semifinals at 4:30. Here's Cy Nielsen. Nielsen is 0 for 3. Hit into a fielder's choice, grounded out to third, and then struck out back in the first. Carter Smith, the right-hander on the mound, comes home, and Nielsen hits this one out to right. Taking a couple steps back, then in, then back, and almost losing it is Garside, but he'll go back on it and make the catch, and there's 1 out here in the 6th inning. Probably Garside there had probably a little bit harder time with making that play than he wanted to, and with 1 gone, here's a 3 for 3 Briggs Newman. Newman's making a push right now. Briggs Newman for our MVP Sports MVP of the game. The pitch on its way misses low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes on Briggs Newman. Carter Smith ready to go on the mound, will kick and deliver the 1-0 pitch. And that one's going to be bounced through the right side for a base hit, and Briggs Newman now 4 for 4. So Briggs Newman has his 4th hit, and now that'll bring up Brendan Bradford. And I think we're going to have a runner come over at first base here and run for Briggs Newman. And it will be number 10. I believe that's Riley Hess coming in, and it will be Riley Hess to run over at first base for Briggs Newman. So this is where the speed-up runner, which is one of the only levels of play where you can use that, really does come into play. As Hess will come to the plate. Hess had a single back in the 3rd, flew out to center. Hess will run at first. He's not played yet in the ball game. Brendan Bradford hit into a fielder's choice, singled and flew out to center field in his last at bat. With 1 out, we'll see what head coach Casey Nelson does, whether Coach Nelson will have Brendan Bradford swing the bat or what will happen here. Here's the first pitch. That one's high and tight for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. You have a 3 for 3 Josh Cowden in the on-deck circle. So we play here in the bottom of the 6th inning, a 6-6 tie. The 1-1 pitch missing for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes here on Brendan Bradford. The next game is scheduled to start at 7 o'clock, Timpanogos and Maple Mountain. Here's the 2-0 pitch on its way. Bradford fouls that one back to the screen. And it's 2 balls and a strike here on Brendan Bradford. Bradford hit into a fielder's choice. Back in the first, it's a ground ball that he hit to the shortstop, College, who took it to the bag. Here's the 2-1 pitch on its way. And Bradford swings through that one. Took a bad swing there at a slider, and it's 2-2. Bradford just looked like he was trying to make some kind of contact with the baseball and just maybe tried a little too hard there. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the pitch on its way. Bradford lines this one out into right center field. That could be trouble. It will fall for a base hit. Hess will put the brakes on at second. And Spanish Fork gets a big base hit from Brendan Bradford. Now runners on the runners at first and second with one away. And now you have to face Josh Cowden, who has 3 knocks on the day, including a RBI single in the third to go along with a triple and a single in his last at bat in the 4th inning. Riley Hess with good speed could score on a base hit. The pitch on its way comes inside and hits Cowden. The bases are full of Dons here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Just what you want, and now probably we'll have Chappell come in and run over at first for Josh Cowden. And Carson Chappell, number 13, will run in over at first base. Bases full of Dons with nobody out, or sorry, with 1 out in the inning, and Tay Newman will be the man at the plate. Newman will want to make sure right now that he stays out of the double play. That's the only thing that could really That's really the only thing right now could hurt Spanish Fork. The first pitch misses away for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Tay Newman. Time called, and Kai Roberts will go out and have a word with his right-hander, and Casey Nelson will do the same with his hitter and the on-deck hitters right now. One ball and no strikes the count here on Tay Newman. Newman back in the 1st inning defensively. Made an error throw past Briggs Newman at first, and that helped Skyridge get a couple of runs early on. But then the Dons fought back. The 1-0 pitch, and Newman bounces this one to short, could be 2. They'll get the out at second for 1. The relay turn to first is not in time, and Spanish Fork has a 7-6 lead. The relay turn from College to Peck, and then Peck down to first. The throw came low and bounced, I think, twice into the glove of Shepard, and in that time, the runner was able to beat it out. Riley Hess scored. Newman reaches first base on what will end up being a fielder's choice. And retired on the play is Carson Chappell for the 2nd out of the inning. Going down to third's Brendan Bradford. Here's Andrew Pintar, and that one off the glove for ball 1. A good stop by Kai Roberts, and now all the pressure going back to the Skyridge Falcons heading to the top of the 7th inning, where they will need a run. And now we'll have Kai Roberts will go out and have a conversation with his right-hander. The last thing you want to do right now, if you're last thing you want to do right now if you're Skyridge, is to allow that run to come in and score from third base. Running over at third base is Brendan Bradford. Running over at first base is Tay Newman. Newman just got the RBI home on the ground out. Here's the pitch, swung out and missed as Pintar took a big cut and came up empty. So they had the music play there through the pitch. And it's a 1-1 count on Andrew Pintar. Pintar 0 for 1 with a couple of sacrifices and a fly out to center. Here's the 1-1 pitch on its way, right on the outside corner, in there for a called strike. And it's 1-2 the count on Andrew Pintar. One ball and 2 strikes the count on Andrew Pintar. Carter Smith from the stretch. Takes a look at third, comes home. That one missing away, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Andrew Pintar. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. From the stretch, Smith comes home. Pintar hits this one down the right field line. That one's going to hook well foul, and we'll do it over again. Want to remind those watching on Spanish Fork 17, we'll send you back to some regularly scheduled programming in between the ball games before we'll bring you back here to Brent Brown Ballpark. Just as Pintar will, that one will miss for ball 3. The count will go full 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Andrew Pintar. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the or bottom of the 6th inning. Pickoff move and back standing is going to be the runner over at first, Tay Newman. And then we'll come back with you right when we get ready to go on the air. We've been told that we'll start first pitch scheduled for 7. However, they'll have to get the field ready and probably will be closer to 7:20, 7:30. There's a call, strike 3, and Pintar down on strikes. Strikeout number 1 for Smith on the night, and the inning's over. But the Dons get 1. They lead 7-6. We head to the 7th. The final chance for the Skyridge Falcons tonight against Brendan Bradford, coming up on Spanish Fork 17, KSL.com, and DesRedNews.com. Top of the 7th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. And it will be the right-hander Brendan Bradford who will try to come out and close this ball game for the Spanish Fork Dons. As there you see number 32, that will be Clayton Driggs, who will get ready to come up to the plate. It will be Driggs, Shepard, and College. The Skyridge Falcons needing 1. They need 1 to tie. They would need 2 to take the lead and go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Brendan Bradford has been in a groove. 4 strikeouts and 2 innings of work. He's been getting those strikeouts in bunches. Ready to go. Here's the first pitch on its way. A fastball that misses for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike here on Clayton Driggs. Driggs 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts and a walk, and the pitch there misses ball 2. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Jace Shepard on deck, and then it would be Brody College to follow. Here's the 2-0 pitch, misses ball 3, and the count goes to 3-0 here on Clayton Driggs. Infield playing back here for Spanish Fork. They don't really want to put the tying run on the base pass on the 3-0 pitch to Driggs. Right over for a called strike, and it's a 3-1 count on Clayton Driggs. Maple Mountain and Timpanogos to follow. The 3-1 pitch. That one's bounced over towards third. Tay Newman goes into the air to get it. His throw across the diamond on point for the out. And there's 1 away here in the 7th. Here comes Jace Shepard. Shepard has popped out to second. It was hit by a pitch and scored a run. And his last at bat coming back in the 5th inning, popped out to Tay Newman. Ready to go, the pitch on its way, swung out and missed, and it's no balls and a strike on Jace Shepard. 7-6, Spanish Fork on top of Skyridge. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way, swung out and missed, strike 2, and it's 0-2 the count on Jace Shepard. Never really since that 4th inning. They got the 1 run in the 5th, but really the Dons pitching staff did a great job in the middle innings of kind of making it a lot harder for Skyridge to get the bats going. That one rolled foul, and we'll do another 0-2 pitch here coming momentarily to Jace Shepard. Following the ball game, we'll take a quick break. The 0-2 pitch on its way, misses for a ball, 1-2 the count. We'll take a quick break after the ball game, and then we'll come back. We'll have our MVP Sports MVP of the game, and then we will send it back to regular programming until Maple Mountain and Timpanogos. Here's the 1-2 pitch, about ready to go, as Bradford will step off the mound here. 1-2 strikes the count on Chase Shepard. And the 1-2 pitch is going to be swung on and hit well to left, but Higginson makes a diving attempt and couldn't come up with it. It's up against the wall at the 3:05 marker. Shepard goes into second, and Skyridge has the tying run on at second base here with 1 out. And now we'll get a speed-up runner, I'm sure, for Shepard. And we're going to get number 3 coming in. That is going to be Jordan Chapman. The sophomore, or the junior will come in and run. Just kind of what you're looking for here is some speed now on the base paths, but puts a little more pressure here with Chapman coming into second. And now we'll have a quick conference on the mound here with the Spanish Fork infield. The hitter will be Brady College, who went deep back in the 5th inning. A solo shot. That was the last run scored by Skyridge. And now head coach Casey Nelson coming out of the Dons dugout. He wants to get in on the action here and make sure everybody knows kind of what needs to happen for Spanish Fork. The importance of this ball game for Spanish Fork is you get a day off tomorrow. You don't have to play again until 4:30 on Wednesday, where you'd get either Maple Mountain or Timpanogos. That would be an opportunity to clinch a spot in the state championship game. So here we go with 1 gone. The hitter's going to be Brady College, who went deep, and it wasn't even really, it wasn't a cheap home run by any means. It was a deep shot, deep up onto the berm. There was no doubt about it off the bat that it was going to go a long ways. Jordan Chapman, the runner on at second base. Bradford comes home right on the outside corner with a called strike, and it's 0-1. Outfield for the Dons playing medium deep. A base hit here, however, would probably get Chapman home with ease. No balls and a strike to count. Bradford kicks and delivers. This one swung on, popped up. The one thing he didn't want to do, it's potentially playable. Cowden will make a diving catch on the turf. And there's the second out of the inning. I don't know if he really meant to make a diving catch or if he stumbled. Nonetheless, he caught it, and there's the second out of the inning. And they're going to, as Josh Cowden saying something to the home plate umpire. And I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's not the first time that Josh Cowden has had a conversation with the home plate umpire. Nonetheless, with 2 outs, it will bring up Caden Long. Long 1 for 3 with a 2-run single back in the 2-run 3rd inning for Skyridge. Chapman, the runner on at second base, gets his lead. Bradford ready to go from the stretch, kicks and delivers this one right on the outside corner, but missed for ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes as the Spanish Fork faithful there wanted the strike call. That one was close, but probably a little bit outside from my vantage point here anyway. I'm not directly behind home plate, but just kind of centered a little bit off. Long grounds it to third, knocked down at third. It kept it on the infield, which was the important thing there. So Tay Newman, although he couldn't make the play, he kept it at least on the infield, but now the tying run sitting on at 90 feet, and they're going to give an error to Tay Newman on that, and that will be the 3rd Dawn error of the evening. And now with 2 outs, the tying run sitting 90 feet away as Nathan Upham, who's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, will be the hitter. A conference on the mound here in the top of the 7th inning, a 7-6 ball game. A lead right now for the Spanish Fork Dons. Spanish Fork just needs an out at second and out at first. Really, any out right now, they'll take it. The pressure really right now does go on Josh Cowden after keeping all those balls in front of him here. If one even squirts past Cowden at this point, Chapman with very good speed on at third base. Chapman can score, and we'll be tied. Nathan Upham not having the best ball game. 3 strikeouts on the night. Ready to go here with 2 gone in the 7th. The 7-6 game. Ready to go here. And here's the pitch. Swinging and missing is Upham, and it's 0-1. Bradford just trying to bear down right here and get the strikeout. Briggs Newman holding the runner on over at first base. Long gets his lead over at first. We'll see if they put the game in motion here at some point and send Caden Long. Long inching towards second. The pitch, Upham swings through it, and it's 0-2. Bradford just kind of challenged him with a couple of pitches up in the zone, and Nathan Upham just swung through it. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. From the stretch, Bradford taking a look into Josh Cowden. Skyridge down to their final strike. The Dons 1 strike away from a semifinal berth. And the pitch misses high and away for a ball. It's 1-2 the count here on Nathan Upham. The semifinals, not necessarily your maybe traditional semifinal look, but that's what it would be on Wednesday at 4:30 would be a semifinal appearance. Runners on the corners with 2 gone. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count on Nathan Upham. Bradford set from the stretch, kicks and delivers this one low and outside. Ball 2, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners on the corners, 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. Jordan Chapman, the runner at third, representing the tying run for Skyridge. Here's the 0-2 pitch, just off the plate, ball 3. And again, the count goes to 3-2. The Spanish Fork faithful, very vocal right there, looking for the final out. Wanting that called strike 3. That one from here was off the plate again. And the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Caden Long now can take off with the pitch, which makes a ball in the gap here very dangerous because it could give Skyridge the lead if it goes in the gap. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. Long over at first, getting his lead. Bradford step from the stretch. Delivers this one home. High, ball 4, and the bases are full of Falcons. Isaac Garside comes to the plate with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and he's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Brendan Bradford got him on one of those strikeouts. Ready to go here. 2 down, bases full for Skyridge. The leading run, running on at second base in Caden Long, and Garside swings through it. It's no balls and a strike. Jordan Chapman, the tying run, sitting 90 feet away. Over at first base, sitting Nathan Upham, who just found a way to draw a 3-2 walk. Here's the 0-1 pitch, the kick and the delivery on its way. High, ball 1, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Garside. A base hit here, really kind of back-breaking for Spanish Fork. The 1-1 pitch, swung out and popped up. This should do it. Brady Brook calling everybody off, and he will make the catch. The ball game is over. The Dons are heading to the semifinals. It wasn't pretty if you're the Spanish Fork Dons, but you pull it out 7-6. We'll take a break here on Spanish Fork 17. When we come back, we'll wrap it up, including our MVP Sports MVP of the game. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17, KSL.com, and DeseretNews.com.